It was reported 2 days ago that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Mr. Peter Obi, and the immediate past governor of Kaduna State have kickstarted a movement aimed at ending President Bola Tinubu rule come 2027. Now, this coalition was affirmed by Atiku Abubakar himself, who read the text of a press conference addressed by a cross-section of leaders and political stakeholders from across the country in Abuja on Thursday, condemning the state of emergency rule imposed in Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We all know that since the 2023 presidential election was done and dusted and Atiku Abubakar losing to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has been at the forefront for a coalition. Atiku Abubakar seriously believed that the reason why Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the 2023 general election was because the opposition parties were divided. This is not just a belief of Atiku Abubakar, this is actually a reality. An analysis of the 2023 election results suggests that if Atiku and Obi had combined their vote, they would have defeated Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu won with 8,794,726 votes. That is 36.6% of the total vote cast, while Atiku Abubakar secured 6,984,520 votes, which is 29.07% of the vote cast, and Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party got 6,101,533 votes, which is 25.4% of the total vote cast. From this analysis, you can see that the opposition parties wasted their vote and they enabled Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, should I say win the election? No, rig the election. The divided opposition made it very easy for that election to be rigged in favor of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu's abysmal failure as president of Nigeria has necessitated the call for all the political parties to come together and form a coalition in order to unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2027 general election. Many Nigerians feel that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is undefeated if all of these presidential candidates contest on a stand-alone ticket. They believe that if they come together, they will be able to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Atiku Abubakar is sensing that possibility of removing Bola Ahmed Tinubu from office. And that's the reason why the northern political leaders are gearing up to form a coalition ahead of the 2027 general election. The urgency for the coalition has been raised so far when former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, left the All Progressive Congress, the ruling APC, and decamped to the SDP, the Social Democratic Party. El-Rufai, while decamping to the SDP, called on other opposition parties to join him in the SDP so they can form a coalition in order to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And El-Rufai lately has been seen moving with Atiku Abubakar. Therefore, it is clear that formation of coalition or a merger is imminent. But the bigger question on the lips of many Nigerians is, who is going to be the presidential candidate ahead of any coalition that will be formed? From all the indicators available, it is obvious that Atiku Abubakar is not relenting in his pursuit of becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar wants to become the president of Nigeria by all means. He has been so desperate to become the president of Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar was the vice president of Nigeria under Olusegun Obasanjo from 1999 to 2007 in PDP. In the 2007 general election, he contested as president under ACN and he pulled 2 million votes. In the 2011 general election, he returned to the PDP and contested the PDP presidential primary, but he was defeated by the incumbent president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan overwhelmingly won the 2011 presidential election, which is adjudged to be one of the truest and fairest elections conducted in this country. That election was marred by post-election violence in the northwest and some part of the northeast when supporters loyal to President Muhammadu Buhari stormed the street, destroying and killing people in anger that President Muhammadu Buhari did not win the 2011 presidential election. Prior to the 2015 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar left the PDP. Atiku Abubakar was among the founding fathers of APC and he funded the APC heavily. He contested the APC presidential primary but was defeated by President Muhammadu Buhari. Of course, the aim of APC was to win the presidential election, and they knew that President Muhammadu Buhari, having the loyal support from the north, the bloc vote from the north, with an alliance with the southwest, President Muhammadu Buhari will defeat President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. So they gave it to President Muhammadu Buhari. Prior to the 2019 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar left the APC, returned back to the PDP, and contested the PDP presidential primaries. But however, it was agreed that the ticket should be zoned to the north, and Atiku Abubakar was given the PDP presidential ticket. He lost that election to President Muhammadu Buhari, even though it was controversial. Prior to the 2023 general election, Atiku Abubakar equally contested the PDP presidential primary with Nyesom Wike. He won the PDP presidential primary and contested against Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Mr. Peter Obi, who left the PDP to the Labour Party, and that election was lost to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Ahead of the 2027 general election, Atiku Abubakar is gearing and warming up again to become a presidential candidate. He wants to form a coalition to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Atiku Abubakar is looking forward towards being the presidential candidate of any coalition that will be formed against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it is where it is very obvious that Atiku Abubakar is led to learn his lesson. Atiku Abubakar is yet to realize that his political journey is one of the major reasons why Nigeria is where Nigeria is today. If Atiku Abubakar and other PDP politicians that left the PDP prior to the 2015 election to the APC had stayed in the PDP, APC and President Muhammadu Buhari and subsequent Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not have had the opportunity to rule this country. They will not have had the opportunity to destroy the economy and the life of Nigerians. Atiku Abubakar equally had an opportunity to remedy the situation in the 2023 general election. If Atiku Abubakar and the PDP had supported that the presidential ticket be zoned to the south, not just the south, but the southeast, APC, Tinubu would not have won that election. Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party was poised to become the president of Nigeria in 2023. If Mr. Peter Obi had not left the PDP to the Labour Party, PDP would have won that election. But why did Mr. Peter Obi leave the PDP to the Labour Party? He left the PDP to the Labour Party because of PDP greed, because of PDP dollarized primaries. He could not compete with the big boys of Nyesom Wike and Atiku Abubakar that had bigger politically funded resources at their disposal. Atiku Abubakar had the opportunity of supporting his vice presidential candidate in the 2019 presidential election. Maybe he's thinking that he is someone like President Muhammadu Buhari that has an 11 million block vote in the north. Atiku Abubakar is not President Muhammadu Buhari. Atiku Abubakar cannot be like President Muhammadu Buhari. Atiku Abubakar do not have that political clout, that popularity in the north to pull out the number just like President Muhammadu Buhari did. So going to the 2027 general election as the presidential candidate of any coalition is dead on arrival. No coalition in this country will function properly. No coalition in this country will succeed. We unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2027 general election with that Mr. Peter Obi leading the pack. Peter Obi is the only threat to Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027 general election. Peter Obi is the biggest opposition politician in Nigeria right now. Even Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, who supported Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 general election, admitted to the fact that even them in PDP know that Mr. Peter Obi is the biggest opposition politician in Nigeria, and he is the biggest threat to Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2027 general election. If whatever coalition they want to form is serious about winning the election, not just about contesting the election, then Atiku Abubakar and all other northern politicians need to take the back seat and support a southern presidential candidate. It will be easier for a southern presidential candidate to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu than a northern presidential candidate. Most Nigerians will choose to go with a southern presidential candidate than voting for a northern presidential candidate. If they are serious about winning the election, then Mr. Peter Obi is their best bet. Mr. Peter Obi is the only one that has that block vote, the capacity, the national appeal to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.
Governor Peter Obi, presidential candidate of the Labour Party. with whom we have a lot of respect and admiration because of his style of politics, because of his statesmanship, his versatile nature, his huge knowledge of the economy, his understanding of the country, and of course, even a clear vision of where politics and politicking should be in terms of bringing good governance, impacting on the people, uniting the country, bringing us together in a vanguard that will be able to bring us out of poverty and ignorance, and also to remove some of these prejudices, some of this perception problem, some of those negatives that we have, encumbrances that we have as a people, so that we can leapfrog into the service level of the economy. Definitely, it's a delight to work with him and to listen to him, his deep knowledge, his statistics, and so on and so forth. And we in the PDP, as chairman of my colleagues, the governors, we have always admired him. And we have always shown interest because behind the scene I have been meeting him. This is not the first time we met. In fact, I met him in Abuja and I was going to meet him, but out of his normal humility, he decided to come here. And we discussed so many issues, as he said. We discussed step-by-step challenges, like the challenges in rivers. He may not have anything to do, but he discussed, and I feel highly appreciative of what he is doing as a leader of the opposition, because whether we like it or not, he is the leader of the opposition now in Nigeria because of his position and pedigree. So I want to say at this level not to make some of those doubting Thomases and mischievous minds to preempt what we are doing, that we, as myself as a person, I'm ready to work with Peter Obi and to make sure we come together with close rank, we bring good governance to the country, we give vibrant opposition with knowledge, with timelines, with vision, in such a manner that we will rescue and recover our country from these mediocres that are parading themselves as leaders. Definitely, time has come when we must step out and we do things with fidelity, with sincerity and focus. And I think our coming together is a message. And the message is going to resonate, I believe, because all our colleagues, the governors, are behind this kind of journey because it's a transcendental one. And I want to say that we are very grateful to Governor Obi for coming here, and we will take it up and take it further in a manner that going forward you will see more of this outing between us and Governor Obi, PDP governors, and PDP as a party. Our collaboration transcends party, religion, geopolitical zones, or personal petty interests. You see, the government in power relish in being undertakers in different parties. We will use knowledge, tact, and strategy to transcend all this, to go beyond their estimation in such a manner that will come with a framework that will give you us latitude to actualize our collective aspiration of providing good governance to Nigerians, irrespective of the bad interferences, permutations, or plans of those people who think that they can scuttle democracy through all the means that is in their hands, through the power of coercion, or even interference in the judiciary and so on and so forth. We will transcend all that, and that is the plan. Thank you.